This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. So last night, in the ongoing saga relative to the congressional inquiry into the Biden scandal that is just now really picking up steam, that Donald Trump is under federal and state indictment, that he is being arrested by the federal authorities, maybe right now as I speak. Their scandal drive is kicking into overdrive. And it broke on Twitter last night, just as Donald Trump's motorcade was being filmed. I don't know why, but filmed driving to the airport to drive to Miami from New Jersey. And it broke on Twitter that now we know, oh my God, it's earth-shattering news. This is the smoking gun. There's audio. A Burisma executive in Ukraine has audio of conversations in a blackmail scheme with Hunter Biden and some with Joe Biden. This was the news. Oh my God, on Twitter. And Ted Cruz, one of many interviews that was done, one of many Twitter posts that was out there, it just blew up. Ted Cruz was on with Newsmax, of course, Newsmax, talking about it. And what my takeaway is, and then I'm going to play the clip, is that for the first many, many moments, all he does is talk about the fact that the media is not covering it. This bombshell. If it was such a bombshell, he would get to the facts. He would get to the details of what they think they know, what they claim they think they know. Instead, he does none of that. All he does is talk about the hypocrisy of the media. Watch this.
Of the charges are just about having documents.
Yep.
In the Biden corruption scandal, which the media is using, Trump's indictment to help them ignore this much bigger story. We do have breaking news from today. This afternoon, Chuck Grassley announced on the Senate floor that the foreign national who allegedly bribed Joe Biden and his family kept audio recordings. He claims he has 15 recordings with Hunter. He has 2 recordings with then Vice President Joe Biden. What do you know about this at this point?
Well, listen, that is stunning news. And if true, that should lead the 6 o'clock news on every station. Now, I'm confident Newsmax will cover it. I'm confident other right-of-center sources will cover it. But the corporate media will ignore it. CNN and MSNBC and ABC, CBS, NBC, they will ignore it. Look, in the past...
So they're invoking Chuck Grassley, and I'm going to play you that clip. Keep in mind, I want you to start counting the number of times he says allegedly, and if this is true, even Ted Cruz was using language like that, if this is true. Here's Chuck Grassley on the floor of the Senate talking about these alleged recordings, because they don't know, they don't have them. And then I'm going to play James Comer, again, stepping in it hard, basing these headline-grabbing allegations, but having nothing in his hands relative to evidence. Here's Chuck Grassley.
The foreign national who allegedly bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly has audio recordings of his conversation with them. 17 such recordings. These recordings were allegedly kept as a sort of insurance policy for the foreign national in case that he got into a tight spot.
That's 3 allegedlys in 25 seconds. Allegedly, these alleged recordings that he allegedly kept for this reason and allegedly this. If this is the scandal of the century, the Newsmax guy said that the media is ignoring this story that's much bigger than the story of Donald Trump's indictment, his 37-count felony federal indictment. This alleged story, allegedly, maybe, if it's true, possibly, it's a bigger story than the actual facts on the ground about Donald Trump retaining and refusing to turn back over to the federal government highly sensitive military intelligence documents that he's waving around for authors of books in his office. Make it make sense. But here's James Comer being asked about the same thing, the same scandal, the same alleged documents. And listen, the talent depth, the bench of talent for the Republicans must be real shallow if James Comer is the guy who gets chairmanship of the House Oversight Committee. If this is the guy they've got to put forward as their ringer, we got real problems in the American Republican Party. Watch this brief clip.
When will you be able to confirm if these recordings are legit? How long is that going to take?
Well, I can confirm that the recordings were in the 1023. Remember, I was with Senator Grassley when we saw the unredacted version.
Okay, so because Grassley was saying alleged yesterday, so these recordings are legit. You can confirm they are legitimate.
Well, they were. I can confirm they were listed in the 1023 that the FBI redacted. We don't know if they're legit or not, but we know that the foreign national claims he has them.
Okay, so when can you confirm that they're legit? Because if they're legit...
I never looked into it. This is the problem. The FBI never investigated this.
Yeah. So the smoke from the fire is always somewhere else. The fire is nowhere to be seen. In fact, the smoke that is emanating from the fire they claim is there isn't seen. This is all a shell game. This is all a distraction for Republicans to be able to talk about something else and focus on something else than the fact that Donald Trump is under federal indictment for violating the Espionage Act. Oh, yeah, well, I can confirm. I can confirm that the calls are in the redacted FBI report, that a guy claims he has them. Well, let's see them. Let us see them. Let us hear these tapes. Bring them. And if Joe Biden is on tape incriminating himself, let's indict him and throw him in jail. I will be the first to join you, James Comer, in calling for Joe Biden to resign and calling for the Justice Department to bring charges against him and prosecute him. That's not theatrics. If you have a position like President of the United States, not only should the law apply to you as it does to Donald Trump, now we know, but also a higher level of responsibility you have to maintain your office with impropriety, or with propriety, excuse me. And I will be the first. I will be among the first to call for Joe Biden's resignation, if not impeachment and prosecution. That's not a joke. That's not just for the YouTubes. I want my presidents to be held to a higher standard, certainly not a lower standard of justice in these United States. That is why I, for years, have advocated for consequence for Donald Trump and his several series of crimes, up to and including violations of the Espionage Act, but also, outlined in the Mueller report, the many instances of obstruction of justice. So bring the evidence or shut the up. Bring your evidence. Show your evidence. Don't tease us with talk of this guy says he's got something. We didn't talk to the guy, but it's in an FBI report that he said he has it, so it must be huge headlines that Joe Biden is guilty of something. Until we see that, there is no scandal. Until you give us something concrete, there is no scandal. You got a whistleblower, you got an informant, but they're missing. We don't know where they are. It's all comical. And you're playing with the country's future while you do this. All to cover for a serial lifetime criminal in Donald Trump. You're running interference for a multi-indicted piece of shit. I was going to say I hate to be blunt about it, but I don't hate to be blunt about it. We have the Republican Party running interference for a criminal and then making up stories talking about the evidence and it's a smoking gun, and they bring nothing to the table. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can leave a comment in the comment section. You can call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. You can email me daily at dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere. Subscribe to the show if you have not already. Trying to get to 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and it's only with your help that I'm going to be able to do that. If you appreciate my work, if I bring value to your day, to your week, to your month, to your year, make a calculation of how much value I bring. If I bring $2 worth of value a month, become a channel member. You can give a super thanks. You can go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. We're going to keep following this story. We meaning me. Because it is important. If there is evidence, let's see it. James Comer. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.